Hi, everybody. I'm Teresa Perrin, and I want to discuss WiSA with you. Ticker W as in whiskey, I as in India, S as in Sierra, A as in Alpha. And it was brought to my attention from some people commenting, asking me to take a look at it for the past couple of weeks. And I looked at it. It didn't really have much volume, so I figured it was kind of dried up and needed to do its thing and would revisit it later. Well, today I decided to take a look at it. And much to my surprise, the volume was absolutely insane today, despite not having much of a price spike. So I went to take a look and found a lot of interesting things. And I truly do believe that, yet again, we have another company that is being attacked by these vicious, naked short sellers. So I decided that I'm going to add this to my list of stocks. And I did purchase a small position in WiSA today to just see what happens with it. So I want to share some of my DD with you, and hopefully you find it helpful. And if anybody knows the CEO, or if he happens to be watching, I would highly recommend that he contact Wes Christian, the attorney that is handling a lot of these lawsuits in regards to naked short selling, predatory, illegal naked short selling, and or Roger Hamilton, the CEO of GNS, who has been quite vocal about what's been going on. And I truly believe that this company really, really needs to do something before they bankrupt it, because ultimately that is the goal. And I don't say that lightly. They are predatory. Their goal is to bankrupt the company so that they do not have to pay back taxes or any of the shares that they nakedly shorted. It will never be disclosed that they're bankrupt, right? They'll never have to pay them back. No one will be none the wiser. And also, they won't have to pay back their shorts if they can bankrupt the company as well, like their regular shorts. And a bankruptcy means that they don't pay taxes on their gains. So it's vicious, but clearly we are seeing more and more of this. And recently I've seen a few companies go under at quite interesting times that I don't think deserved it. And it has to make me question, are there insiders getting involved? Is somebody getting on the board? Is there predatory lending that perhaps is now getting a vote that they shouldn't be? There's something more going on, and these CEOs need to take a close look at who's inside the company as well as what's happening outside the company, because it may surprise them, but in some of these cases, they may go hand in hand, unfortunately. But anyways, let's get started. And real quickly, just a disclosure, please remember nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD, and this is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any stock. Please remember that highly manipulated stocks will continue to be highly manipulated. Even today with Helbiz announcing that they are going under attack, they were shorted more than they have been in the past 2 weeks. Guys, it's insane. So just please keep that in mind, because it doesn't end easily, unfortunately. Oops. And also, if you could smash that like button for me, it helps with the algorithm and it will help this news to get out there about WiSA. So let's talk about the movement today. We saw that on the day, it ended up only being up 2 cents or 14.11%. And they are trying to tank it in the after hours. In fact, I was able to get in at 12.5 cents. And that's where I purchased my position, was in after hours. And guys, that made it down another 4.12%. But it looks like it's forming a W pattern to me right here on the daily. And if you're looking at the past week, they're up 44.7%. And in the past month, it was very close to that. So all their movement's really been in the past week. And over the last 3 months, though, they are down 76.49% or 44 cents. And in the past year, they're down 89.21% or $1.12. And in the past 5 years, they are down 99.87% or $99.87. So I'm guessing somewhere along the way, they've already had to do a reverse split. No surprise here because it seems like this is how they attack companies and they make them do reverse split after reverse split. Meanwhile, none the wiser, they're shorting them again and again. Take a look at Excel if you want proof of that. All right, so let's see. Let's start with this. All right, we are number 8 on the popularity list, and we are, and that's on Webull, and we are number 3, I believe it was, on StockTwits, guys. So that kind of caught my attention as well. And this is just my message that I sent out so that it can be in this video in case anyone wants to pause it and get the names. The CEO of this company is Brett Moyer, and Wes Christian and Roger Hamilton are the contacts that he should contact if anyone knows them. Now, WiSA engages in the manufacture of modules which wirelessly transmit and receive audio directly to speakers. Guys, it sounds to me like something like a semiconductor chip. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know much about this company. I'm just starting to learn about it today as I gather information, which seems like it'd be very cheap for what they provide. Now, here's what really spiked my attention. The volume is on average 20.78 million. Today, they traded over 313 million shares. Guys, I have to be honest. Today, I saw something in the market that was quite interesting because despite this heavy volume, it seems like in a lot of these heavily beat up companies, prices didn't move too much with the volume. And I have to say, I think that they're trying to cover their tracks, possibly return some shares, but yet they're shorting at the same time. So it's really kind of strange. And I'm going to continue monitoring it, but if anyone has any idea and they've noticed anything similar, please let me know because, you know, options, especially, you know, being monthly, the volatility tends to be crazier than what I feel it was today. And it seemed kind of like flat on the day overall, but yet if you look at the volumes, they were rather high and it doesn't add up. So far, the analysts that rank it give it a 100% buy and a $2.75 average price target, with a low being $1 and a high being $5.50. And technically, it is giving off a strong bullish signal, and it's showing a continued move to the upside in the short term. Now, medium hasn't turned over yet because you have to remember for months and months, it's been trading down, if not flat. All right, so institutions are slowly starting to increase their interest in this or their purchases. You see in the past month that they increased their holdings by 0.18%. They only own 8.72% of this company, and insiders only own 1.63% of this company, which has actually decreased by 5.74% in the past month. Maybe somebody took something off for the holidays or taxes or whatever the case may be, or somebody left the company. But the main holders of this stock are you and I, retail investors. And that's something that I notice a common trend with these stocks that are being attacked. They tend to go after heavily shorted retail stocks. So that needs to be on everybody's attention because it's very, very important you understand that. Stock that's trading below $1, I like to check and see what their status is as far as being NASDAQ compliant, because you don't want to be entering a stock that has a potential to do a reverse stock split and be unaware of it. You know, it's one thing to ride it, but it's another to not know what's about to happen. So anyways, I did check that out. And on December 27th, they filed an 8K. And it said that they were able to get an extension to June 20th of 2023. That being said, they did in fact scheduled to have on January 24th of 2023 a special meeting of stockholders. And they're going to vote for a reverse split. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to apply it, since they have naturally to get that up. I'm sorry, did I say January? June, until June 20th of 23. So, but they are voting on that, as well as some things to do with an incentive plan for the company and a few other things. You can screenshot this, do what you want, or go look at NASDAQ for the filing if you want the details on what's being voted on January 24th. And you most likely have to be a prior stockholder to this notice. Generally, when you get a stock like myself today, I am not able to vote. But make sure that you check this out if you have been holding this stock for a while, because it's very important that you always vote on your shares. Now, the short interest is currently at 19.05%. And here's where I got excited. There are no shares left to borrow. Now, guys, keep that in mind, because I promise you, if you check FinTel on Monday morning, more than likely, suddenly, there'll be shares that pop up. But we'll keep an eye on it and see what it's showing. Now, the cost to borrow is 58.94%. So it seems like it's, been relatively between like that 58 and up to 79% over the past 2 weeks. So it's fairly high in all sincerity. I mean, yes, you've seen crazy amounts like in the hundreds and 500s, and I've even seen like 900% short interest, which is just insane. But it's definitely up there, and it definitely, especially for a stock so cheap, could, start to deter people from wanting to short it. The short volume ratio has essentially been close to 50% every single day, running between 45.77 and 51.82%. Today, it was 49.06%. Now, remember, this is the short volume ratio, so this is just the shares that are shorted in the dark pool. And guys, it doesn't look like there's too many FTDs that are going to come into place, but there are some towards the end of the month. So if you take a look towards the end of the month, you can see on the 29th, there were 3,147,243, but they were able to knock that down to 1,349,815 by the following day. And that's the last information that we have. So I'm going to be curious to see what comes up over the next 2 months, because look at the spike on that chart compared to literally the past year. This is the only time it's had a huge amount. So suddenly this price is catching a lot of people's attention. And I feel like shorts are about to get stuck between a rock and a hard place, because honestly, this thing could pop at any time. With the volume that it got today, it is very intriguing, and it certainly caught my eye. And I think that it's definitely caught others too, by the looks of StockTwits and Webull, which I don't even look at all the time. So I was actually going to check something out on Hellbiz and happened to come across it. So anyways, guys, let's see what happens on Monday, and I'm looking forward to an exciting week. There's quite a few stocks. Generally, when short squeeze seasons start to happen, and I call it short squeeze season, and we haven't seen it for quite some time. It's literally been like, God, I feel like it's been like 2 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but, occasionally we'll see, 1 or 2 here or there. But when they really start popping, like during that AMC and GME short squeeze time, I think that was like 2 years ago now. It feels like forever ago. But anyways, it feels like a long time since we've had a true short squeeze season. So, and please keep in mind, not every short squeeze is like that typical Volkswagen short squeeze. So when you hear short squeeze, please do not hold until, you think you're going to get something to the freaking moon. And yeah, it's one thing to say it. It's fun. I get it. I do it sometimes too. But the reality is of the situation, if your stock's up like 1,000%, then you kind of have to start wondering if you should take profits, or if it's up 500%, or whatever the case may be. Just remember, it doesn't ever hurt to take profits along the way. That way, if you do get caught and they do an offering or something crazy that you're not expecting, then at least you know that you secured some profits. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, I do have a free morning watch list every single morning, and we've had some absolute killers on there lately. So feel free to subscribe to the channel so you get